come to the bold analysis. Yesterday, the ODM members of parliament from Nairobi and the ODM grassroots network was activated, not yesterday, it was activated on Thursday afternoon so that they can mobilize people to go and witness the signing of Raila Ruto deal. This was in culmination of this was in culmination of culmination after rounds of consultation. I said Raila Odinga made today said that when he went to Statehouse last week, the other week of course, to tell the president thank you for how president supported him, he realized, or he happened to know, but of course there is something he knew before he went there, that the power sharing, okay, that political agreement between Ruto and Raila was already existing. And the stage was set. Remember when I did that analysis, I was asking why the party leadership of UD and ODM were there. And all of them were flown to Mombasa to sign that agreement. But he allegedly said, no, let me go and consult. So he went to consult the people, then did what I can call mock consultation. I even questioned the consultation because it was done in ODM zones only. While he said he was consulting Kenyans. Our own Kenyans coming there. I saw another one, I even saw, who is this? I even saw one leader asking him that, are ODM members, are the ODM supporters the only ones? So you will get given some few coins, money, then get in a meeting and talk to people. Today, the Raila Odinga, we understand, was supposed to go to Citizen for, I think that the Citizen was supposed to host him, actually in Karen. And this was in response, this was actually moments after that event that happened in KICC. I was so keen on this, but report that later came from Raila Odinga's secretariat is that the meeting, the interview was to be cancelled, had been cancelled, of course, for some other reasons. Remember the last time there was a problem, Ichung'wa and Junet were supposed to appear in parliament so that they can make an explanation, or that they can explain to the country about the majority-minority issue that was going on in parliament. That was cancelled, and what we were later told is that there was someone from Statehouse. So in this podcast, I want to tell you why Raila Odinga did not appear in media and why that interview was cancelled. But before that, this is what we did in Kakamega. And may God bless you. May God bless you. That was our 30th program. Our 30th program. That program of Granny Care is closest to my heart because I lost my grandmother some time back. I'm just going to give a snippet of this, just shortly. And hakukuwa na nyumba, a long shot. Hakukuwa na nyumba, but I grew up with her. What we had was some structure. But one thing I captured from that, from my grandmother Rose, alikuwa anapeana mama wazee. Alikuwa anapeana mpaka sisi tunakosa the grandchildren. So, in the spirit, in honor of my grandmother Rose, that is why I feel endeared to that program of Granny Care, of supporting the elderly. Because it is very important. There are 7 questions. There are 7 questions that Raila Odinga fear answering. He's fearing answering because he doesn't have an answer, or he's running some propaganda around it. Number one, Raila needs to tell the country what was the report from the consultations. Because we have a sneak peek of the report. We have what happened. What is the report from the consultations? 3 counties. I want to look at 3 counties. In Kisii County, elected ODM members of parliament skipped the consultation. Almost several of them skipped that consultation. And in the closed-door meeting, opinions were divided as to which direction the country is supposed to take. County of Siaya, my county. My governor said that it is too early to get into such a deal. But if you decide to go for the deal, have a structured deal with the president. County of Kisumu. Anyang' Nyong'o and the team, and that was the first place he mentioned about it, they were so equivocal about Raila that while they endorse his decision to support Ruto presidency because Ruto supported him, but he must be sure, he must be keen to the fact that it has the potential of eroding the ideals of ODM party. Did Raila ask Kenyans about, did he ever go and ask Kenyans what was the mode of collecting people's opinion? Did he ask Kenyans, should I join Ruto or not? There's only one place in Wajir. He went before the people with already an informed position, with a position that I'm going to join government. So I'm just telling them to prepare ground so that I prepare ground so that it can hype. In fact, what was that consultation was some hype program. Just surround yourself with some hypermen so that you hype the whole thing. Even though I understand it was rushed, they were supposed to do it next week. Yeah, my little bird tells me that. Number 2, the second question Raila cannot answer. Odinga says that the agreement with Ruto does not mirror, or rather is not a coalition party, does not form the basis of a coalition party. But when you look at what happened in KICC, it was a key party affair. By the time Raila is talking, ile flag ya ODM imewekwa. By the time Ruto is talking, ile flag ya UDA imewekwa. When the signs are being done, it is the secretary generals of the two parties. So, if it is not it, how are members supposed to behave in the National Assembly? These are the questions. If it is not supposed to end up into some coalition party, then how is it going to work? Because in parliament, people work along the party lines. And if there is a bill to be passed, the mobilization is normally done around the majority and minority. So, while it does not mean Ruto Tosha, and Raila cannot explain the gray area of, are you endorsing Ruto for presidency or not? Third question. What is the correlation between AU African Union Commission support and what has been signed? Because it is incumbent upon the Kenya government to support the Kenyan candidate, even if it were not Raila, even if it were me, and I was the person who was the Kenyan candidate, it's upon them to facilitate my candidature. So, Ruto And when they were making their speeches today, both President Ruto and Raila Odinga started by acknowledging how they worked together and how Raila was helped on that race. He never got it. Someone said, if this deal is kurudisha mkono because of the support that has been given, then why are we talking about we are going to change things? We're talking about changing lives in the country, while it is still based on some reciprocity. Someone is just reciprocating, the favor that has been done to him. It looks like I've done you a favor, so you're supporting me because you favored me. You're not supporting me because you want what's for the country. So that question is not the gray area. It's not clear. Raila does not have an answer to that. Let me tell you. Ana you answer you. Ana answer. I know. And that is why that interview was cancelled. That question would come. How that is related. Now that is third. Fourth. Does he know the details of the deal? I am afraid. I said sometime that when Raila was still in Ethiopia, that Mama Ida needed to chase the oligarchs around Odinga because there are people that are crafting Raila Odinga's next course of action. And that confirms. Imagine ile siku alikuwa afike Mombasa na assign. That means he had not even read it. And I can tell you even now, he has not even read it. Hey, of course he can't read all of it. He has to read the highlights and what is relevant to him. Probably part of the clause says you'll be, accompanying the president to launch projects so that people can be seen, the projects can find the support of the community. You shall be taking time to, tell the people to support the government agenda over SHA, over this, There is something that Raila is supposed to bring on table. But what Raila is bringing on table is not going to help. Let me say, it comes in my next point. How the deal is going to solve the policy bottlenecks. SHA is having a problem. And leaders have confessed, SHA is having a problem. The deal was even ridiculous. The spaceslip guys are crying. KEMSA is having issues. Education funding model is in limbo. What Raila brings is some goodwill. Kwamba anaweza ambia Wakenya wa register. But remember, that is not a solution. So even if you enter into that deal, is Ruto going to cede ground? And lastly, the other question is this. How do you believe Ruto handshake and Ruto opposed Uhuru handshake? How? And you need to believe why this is best. Why you trust Ruto when he says of this? Well, when you did the same with Uhuru Kenyatta, he was a chief campaigner against it. Ladies and gentlemen, the next interesting days are going to be very interesting. The next few days are going to be interesting in our political space. And watch this podcast, because here I said we remain within the lines of, is it legal or it is illegal? Is it morally upright? And lastly, is it justice? The three pillars. And those three pillars have made it easy. Hata kitu ikifanyika, hata tuna pressure. We don't take side. When something, even if you do this, even if President Ruto does this, even when Rigathi Gachagua impeachment was going on, those are the questions I was asking. And that's why I stood and said, it is not right. It was illegal. And even this one, it might not be judged on legality. But is there justice served in it? And after asking justice, is it morally right? Does it serve the purpose? Does it uplift the people? Or it is just a scheme to benefit individuals? Thank you.
Guys, this is where Dani, this is the house that I was showing you. This is the house Dani alikuwa anaishi. So ukiona hii nyumba, it was not even in a good place. So this is how it was. So we've moved her from this house to this one. So this is the house we just did. And yeah, so this is the one we did for Dani, and we've moved her to this house. Aliingia, if you check inside, already ameweka viti, and we've not even done the door. She said immediately this house was done, akasema yeye anaingia. We are planning to put the door today, but she's already there.
We thank you so much for this effort. At least Shosho now have a smile on her face. She's going to sleep where there is door and window. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kevin, and your group. May God bless you. Finally, this is the third house. As you can see, Mama and grandchildren are standing. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you so much for remembering this old woman. At least she now has a smile on her face. May God bless you people. We love you so much. Be blessed. Okay, dear friends, this is the second house. As you can see, there is door, there is window. Now at least Mama can sleep in a warm place. Thank you so much, Kevin and your group, for supporting.